last three sessions, we discussed about the circular motion. Now, our next part is the rotational motion. So, to study the rotational motion, first we consider the analogy between the linear motion and rotational motion. So, in this analogy, the first physical quantity is the linear displacement in case of a linear motion, while in case of a rotational motion, the physical quantity analogous to the linear motion is the angular displacement. So, the first physical quantity is linear displacement. Physical quantity analogous to the linear displacement in case of a rotational motion is the angular displacement. So now you are well familiar with the angular displacement, finite angular displacement and infinitesimal angular displacement, means theta and delta theta. Angle traced out by the radius vector in a given interval of time is called as the angular displacement. So linear displacement is denoted by a letter either s or x. Generally, unit of linear displacement is meter, while unit of angular displacement is radian. Linear displacement is a vector quantity, while the angular displacement theta is not a true vector, while delta theta is a vector. And dimension of linear displacement is 1 in length, 0 in mass and 0 in time, while angular displacement has no dimension. Second physical quantity is the linear velocity. What is the linear velocity? The rate of change of the linear displacement is called as the linear velocity, denoted by letter V. SI unit of the linear velocity is meter per second and it is a vector quantity and dimension is 1 in length, 0 in mass and -1 in time. The quantity analogous to the linear velocity is the angular velocity. Angular velocity is denoted by letter omega. Rate of change of the angular displacement is called as the angular velocity. Its SI unit is radian per second. SI unit is radian per second. Dimension is 0 in mass, 0 in length and -1 in time, and it is a vector quantity. Rate of change of the linear displacement is called as the linear velocity, denoted by letter V bar. Its SI unit is meter per second. Dimension is 0 in mass, 1 in length and -1 in time, and it is a vector quantity. So you are also familiar with the relation between these two physical quantities, linear velocity and angular velocity. V bar is equal to omega bar cross r bar, and in magnitude V is equal to omega r. So this is the relation between linear velocity and angular velocity. Our next physical quantity is the linear acceleration. Rate of change of linear velocity is called as the linear acceleration. Its SI unit is meter per second square. Dimension is 0 in mass, 1 in length and -2 in time, and it is also a vector quantity. The physical quantity analogous to the linear acceleration is the angular acceleration in case of a rotational motion, denoted by letter alpha. Rate of change of the angular velocity is called as the angular acceleration. Its SI unit is radian per second square. Dimension is 0 in mass, 0 in length, and minus 2 in time. And it is also a vector quantity. You are also familiar with the relation between these two. A bar is equal to alpha bar cross R bar. A is equal to R into alpha. This is the relation between linear acceleration and angular acceleration. Fourth physical quantity is the mass. So you are well familiar with the mass. The physical quantity which is analogous to the mass in case of a rotational motion is the moment of inertia. Moment of inertia is denoted by the symbol I and abbreviated as a m dot I. So mass is a scalar, its SI unit is kilogram. Now we consider here moment of inertia. So moment of inertia is analogous to the mass. Now you are familiar with the inertia. Tendency of a body to maintain the state of rest or state of uniform motion along a straight line. It's called its inertia. Greater the mass of a body, greater is its inertia. Now, moment of inertia is analogous to the mass. Now, question is, what is the moment of inertia? We consider a rigid body of any shape. This is a rigid body of any shape. This rigid body is rotated about a fixed line. That line is called as the axis of rotation. Now, as the body performs the rotational motion, every particle of the body performs a circular motion. Suppose we have shown that this body is made up of large number of particles having masses, say m1, m2, dash, mn. Particle of mass m1 is situated at a distance r1 from the axis of rotation. Particle of mass m2 is situated at a distance r2 from the axis of rotation. Particle of mass mn is situated at a distance rn from the axis of rotation. So thus m1, m2, dash, mn be the masses of the particles of that body, and these particles are situated at the distances r1, r2, dash, rn respectively from the axis of rotation. Now, moment of inertia of this rigid body about a given of axis of rotation means what? The moment of inertia of a rigid body about a given axis of rotation is defined as the algebraic sum of product of the mass of a particle and square of its distance from the axis of rotation. Algebraic sum of the product of mass of the particle and square of its distance from the axis of rotation. That is, moment of inertia is what? m1 r1 square plus m2 r2 square plus dash mn rn square. This addition we express in a compact and convenient form by using the method of sigma notation. So summation over I is equal to 1 to n of mi ri square. Moment of inertia is equal to summation over I is equal to 1 to n of mi ri square. From this one, what is the SI unit of moment of inertia and what is the dimension? So here, moment of inertia, simply we take moment of inertia as a mr square, product of the mass and square of the distance of the particle from axis of rotation. Therefore, SI unit of moment of inertia is kg meter square, and its dimension is 1 in mass, 2 in length, and 0 in time. And this moment of inertia is a tensor. We know that mass is a scalar physical quantity, while moment of inertia is neither a scalar nor a vector. So it is a tensor. So as moment of inertia of a rigid body about a given axis of rotation is defined as the sum of the product of the masses and square of the distances of the particles from the axis of rotation. Mathematically, I is equal to summation over I is equal to 1 to n of mi/ri square. In short, we take I is equal to mr square, hence its unit is kg meter square. Dimension is 1 in mass, 2 in length, and 0 in time. And it is a tensor, that is neither scalar nor a vector. Now we consider the significance of the moment of inertia and on what factor the moment of inertia of the particle or body depends. So, moment of inertia is analogous to the mass. In case of a linear motion, you are familiar with the formula F is equal to ma. Force is the product of mass and acceleration. So mass is a measure of inertia, means greater the mass of a body, greater is the inertia. Similarly, in case of a rotational motion, moment of inertia play the role as that of the mass play in linear motion. And that is why moment of inertia is called as the rotational inertia. Moment of inertia is called as rotational inertia. So this is the fourth physical quantity which consider here between the linear motion and rotational motion. Now we consider the fifth physical quantity. In case of a linear motion, we consider the linear momentum. Linear momentum is denoted by the symbol P. And the physical quantity analogous to the linear momentum is the angular momentum. Angular momentum is denoted by symbol L. So you are familiar with the linear momentum. Product of the mass and linear velocity, that is P is equal to mv, is the linear momentum. In vector form, it is P bar is equal to m into V bar, and in magnitude P is equal to m into V. So therefore its unit is kg meter per second. And dimension of the linear momentum is what? 1 in mass, 1 in length, and minus 1 in time, and it is a vector quantity. This is the discussion about the linear momentum. Now the physical quantity analogous to the linear momentum is the angular momentum. Question is, angular momentum means what? Moment of linear momentum is called as the angular momentum. Moment of linear momentum is called angular momentum. So as the moment of linear momentum is the angular momentum, we express the angular momentum L as the product of moment arm and magnitude of the linear momentum. Moment arm and magnitude of linear momentum. Mathematically, L is equal to R into P. In vector form, it is R bar cross P bar, but in magnitude, it is L is equal to R into P. Question is moment arm is what? It is the perpendicular distance between line of action of the force and the axis of rotation. Perpendicular distance between the line of action of a force and axis of rotation is called as the moment arm. What is the linear momentum? It is the product of mass and velocity. So finally we get L is equal to R into M into V, and hence SI unit of the angular momentum is kg meter square per second. Unit of momentum is meter, mass is kg, and velocity is meter per second, hence kg meter square per second. Dimension of the angular momentum is 1 in mass, 2 in length, and minus 1 in time, and it is a vector quantity. By analogy which we already considered, what is the formula for angular momentum? Is by analogy. So here P is equal to mva. So by analogy we get L is equal to, angular momentum is analogous to the linear momentum, moment of inertia is analogous to the mass, and angular velocity is analogous to the linear velocity. So thus we get L is equal to I omega. So thus we get the two formulae of L. Here we get L is equal to Rp, or L is equal to Rmv, and L is equal to I omega. So this is the discussion about the angular momentum. Moment of linear momentum is called angular momentum. Angular momentum is the product of moment arm and magnitude of linear momentum, hence L is equal to Rp, or L is equal to Rmv, and by analogy we get L is equal to I omega. We also consider the proof of this equation later on. Next physical quantity is the force in case of a linear motion. So what is the force? Sixth analogy is force is a physical quantity in case of a linear motion, and analogous quantity in case of a rotational motion is the torque. So what is the force? So we are familiar with the force, a physical quantity which changes or tends to change the state of rest or state of uniform motion of a body along a straight line. Force is the product of mass and acceleration, hence its unit is kg meter per second square, and this unit was named as a Newton. Dimension of the force is 1 in mass, 1 in length, and minus 2 in time, and force is a vector quantity. Torque is the physical quantity analogous to the force in case of a linear motion. What is the torque? The same as that of the angular momentum. We define the torque. Moment of a force is called as the torque. Moment of a force is called torque. So it is also defined as the turning ability of a force. Turning ability of a force is called as the torque, or moment of the force is called as the torque. Moment of a force is called as the torque. Therefore, τ bar is equal to R bar cross F bar. Means what? Magnitude of momentum and magnitude of the force. Magnitude of moment arm and magnitude of the force. This product gives us the magnitude of the torque. In symbol, it is R into F only. In magnitude, in vector form, it is R bar cross F bar. By analogy, What is the formula for tau? Here F is equal to ma आहे. So by analogy, tau is equal to I into alpha. Why? So moment of inertia I is analogous to the mass m, and angular acceleration alpha is analogous to the linear acceleration. What is the SI unit of the torque from this formula? The magnitude unit of the SI unit of the force is Newton, and unit of the momentum is meter. So Newton meter is the SI unit of the torque. What is the dimension? So to obtain the dimension, Newton is what? Kg meter per second square and into meter. So that is why dimension of the torque is 1 in mass, 2 in length and minus 2 in time, and it is also a vector quantity. So say again, torque is the physical quantity analogous to the force. Moment of a force is called as the torque. Therefore, torque is the product of moment arm and magnitude of the force. Hence, 2 is equal to Rf in vector form. Tau bar is equal to R bar cross F bar. SI unit of the torque is Newton meter, that is kg meter square per second square, and hence dimension is 1 in mass, 2 in length and minus 2 in time, and it is a vector quantity. Next quantity here we consider a kinetic energy. So what is the kinetic energy in case of a translational motion? The kinetic energy in case of a translational motion is 1/2 mv square. Kinetic energy in case of a linear or translational motion is what? It is 1/2 mv square. Analogy gives us the rotational kinetic energy. So what is the formula for rotational kinetic energy by using the analogy? So rotational kinetic energy is equal to 1/2. Physical quantity analogous to the mass in case of a rotational motion is moment of inertia I, and linear angular velocity is analogous with the linear velocity. So therefore rotational kinetic energy is 1/2 I omega square. Number 8, work in case of a linear motion. So we know that work done is the dot product of force and displacement. Work done is the dot product of force and displacement. So by analogy, what is the work done in case of a rotational motion? So by analogy, work done in case of a rotational motion is W is equal to tau bar dot delta theta bar, not theta bar, because we know that finite angular displacement is not a true vector. So therefore W is equal to tau bar dot delta theta bar. What is the power in case of a linear motion? So we know that power is what? Rate of doing the work, means work upon time, and therefore power is the dot product of force and linear velocity. Power is the dot product of force and linear velocity in case of a linear motion. By analogy here, power in case of a rotational motion is what? P is equal to tau bar dot omega bar. And last point we discuss here, the kinematical equations. So you are well familiar with the kinematical equations in case of a linear motion. So first kinematical equation is what? Kinematical equations in case of a linear motions are what? V is equal to U plus AT, S is equal to UT plus half AT square, and V square is equal to U square plus 2AS. These are the three kinematical equations in case of a linear motion. Similarly, what are the kinematical equations in case of a rotational motion? So use the analogy. V is equal to U plus AT. The analogous kinematical equation is omega is equal to omega 0 plus alpha into t. Here u is the initial velocity, here omega 0 is the initial angular velocity. V is the final velocity, omega is the final angular velocity, and alpha, that is angular acceleration, is analogous to the linear acceleration. Second kinematical equation is theta is equal to omega 0 into t plus 1 upon 2 alpha into t square. Angular displacement is analogous to the linear displacement. So therefore theta is equal to omega 0 t plus alpha 1 upon 2 alpha t square. And third one is omega square is equal to omega 0 square plus 2 alpha theta. So these are the kinematical equations in case of a rotational motion. So thus we discussed the analogy between the linear or translational motion and the rotational motion. Now we discuss the points related to the rotational motion one by one. So first we consider what is the radius of gyration in case of a rotational motion. Radius of gyration in case of a rotational motion. Radius of gyration is denoted by letter K. So to study the radius of gyration, first we consider one simple example. Suppose we consider a ring of mass m and radius r rotated about a given axis of rotation. So this is a ring. It is of mass m and radius r. This ring is rotated about this axis of rotation. So I is its moment of inertia, m is mass and r is the radius. Now that whole ring we replace by a single particle whose mass is same as that of the ring. So this is a single particle whose mass is m. Now this particle is rotated about the axis of rotation. So to get the same moment of inertia as that of the ring, we consider the distance of that mass m from the axis of rotation is k. This distance k is called as the radius of gyration. So when this particle of mass m is rotated, we get same moment of inertia as that of the ring. And so that is why, what is the radius of gyration? The radius of gyration of a rigid body about a given axis of rotation is defined as the distance. Radius of gyration of a rigid body about a given axis of rotation. Given axis of rotation is defined as the distance. So this word is very important here. Is defined as the distance. Which distance? The distance between the axis of rotation and a point at which whole mass of a body can be supposed to be concentrated. So as to get the same moment of inertia, so as to get same moment of inertia as that of the body. See the wording again. Radius of gyration of a rigid body about a given axis of rotation is defined as the distance. Which distance? The distance between the axis of rotation and the point at which whole mass of a body can be supposed to be concentrated. That is nothing but the center of mass. But what is the condition? So we get the same moment of inertia as that of the body. Such a distance is called as the radius of gyration. So it is clear that radius of gyration is nothing but the distance. So therefore, what is the SI unit of radius of gyration? The SI unit of radius of gyration is only meter, and therefore its dimension is 0 in mass, 1 in length and 0 in time. So as the moment of inertia of this particle is same as that of the body, by our definition, what is the moment of inertia I? It is mk square, product of the mass and square of the distance from the axis of rotation. So therefore I is equal to mk square, hence ik is equal to under root I upon m. This is the formula for radius of gyration, and I is equal to mk square is the formula of moment of inertia in case of a radius of gyration. So thus radius of gyration is nothing but the distance between the axis of rotation and the point at which whole mass of a body can be supposed to be concentrated, so as to get the same moment of inertia as that of the body. Now our next concept is the relation between the different physical quantities. First we consider rotational kinetic energy. So we consider a proof so that we get a clear idea about the physical quantities. So rotational kinetic energy. Rotational kinetic energy. It is denoted by Ke rotational, like this. Consider a rigid body of any shape. Consider a rigid body of any shape. This rigid body is rotated about an axis passing through any point, say O, and perpendicular to the plane of the body. Means that axis is perpendicular to the plane of the body here, and it is passing through the point O. This body is rotated with constant angular velocity omega. Means omega is constant, neither increases nor decreases. So omega is the angular velocity, and that angular velocity is constant. Now assume that this particle body is made up of large number of particles having masses, say m1, m2, dash mn. N particles we considered here. Now each particle is situated at a particular distance from the axis of rotation. So we assume that r1 is the distance of the particle m1 from axis of rotation, r2 is the distance of m2 from the axis of rotation, and rn is the distance of the particle mn from axis of rotation. Now this body is rotated about the given axis of rotation. As the body performs the rotational motion, every particle of this body performs a circular motion. When we observe the position of each particle perform a circular motion. So particle m1 possesses the linear velocity v1, particle m2 perform the circular motion with linear velocity v2, and last one is vn is the linear velocity of the last particle of mass mn. So every particle perform the circular motion with center O and the distance from axis of rotation as a radius. For example, if you consider the particle of mass m1, so r1 is the radius of that circular motion and O is the center. Similarly, all other particles perform the circular motion. Now we consider the mathematical part. So we use the relation here, V is equal to omega into R. You are familiar with this relation. In vector form, V bar is equal to omega bar cross R bar. So apply this relation for the first particle. We get V1 is equal to omega R1, because as the whole body is rotated with angular velocity omega, every particle possesses the same angular velocity omega. So V1 is equal to omega R1 is the linear velocity of the first particle. Then what is its kinetic energy? Its mass is m1. So its kinetic energy is denoted by letter E1. The E1 is 1 upon 2 m1 V1 square. Put the value of V1 here. So we get E1 is equal to 1 by 2 m1 omega into R1 whole square. So it is omega square into R1 square. This is the kinetic energy of the first particle. Similarly, what is the kinetic energy of the second particle? Kinetic energy of the second particle is E2, 1 upon 2 m2 omega square into R2 square. Similarly, the kinetic energy of the last particle is 1 upon 2 mn omega square into Rn square. So every particle possesses its own kinetic energy. Now all that particles are the part of this body. Now question is, what is the total kinetic energy of the whole body? The total kinetic energy of the body is E is equal to E1 plus E2 plus dash plus En. Means what? It is the sum of the kinetic energy of all the particles. So that addition of the kinetic energy of all the particles gives us the rotational kinetic energy of the whole body. And therefore, either use the symbol E or K, rotational, for the total kinetic energy. So total rotational kinetic energy of the body is what? Put the values of E1, E2 and so on. So it is 1 upon 2 m1 omega square into R1 square plus 1 upon 2 mn omega square into R2 square plus dash plus 1 upon 2 mn omega square into Rn square. Now here we take only omega square as the common. So take this omega square as a common. So when we take omega square common here, we get rotational kinetic energy is equal to 1 upon 2 m1 R1 square plus 1 upon 2 also we take common here, m1 R1 square plus m2 R2 square plus dash plus mn Rn square, and into, write down one common factor 1 upon 2 before the bracket and omega square after the bracket. What is this bracket? It is nothing but summation over I is equal to 1 to n of mi Ri square. What is this? It is the moment of inertia, and therefore rotational kinetic energy is 1 upon 2I omega square. So this is the proof of the rotational kinetic energy. See again. What is the theoretical discussion? Consider a rigid body of any shape. That rigid body is rotated with constant angular velocity omega about an axis passing through any point 2 and perpendicular to its plane. Body is made up of large number of particles having masses m1, m2, mn. These particles are situated at a distances r1, r2, rn respectively from the axis of rotation. As the body performs the rotational motion, every particle performs the circular motion. And so we know that in case of a circular motion, V is equal to omega into r is the relation between linear velocity and angular velocity. So apply that relation for the first particle. We get V1 is equal to omega r1. Hence its kinetic energy is E1 is equal to 1 upon 2 m1 V1 square, and therefore it is 1 upon 2 m1 omega square into r1 square. Similarly, kinetic energies of other particles are E2 and ENM. If you add the kinetic energy of all the particles, in we get the total kinetic energy of the whole body, and therefore the rotational kinetic energy of the whole body is nothing but the algebraic sum of these energies. So hence put the values of E1, E2, En, take 1 upon 2 and omega square as a common factor. That remaining term is nothing but the moment of inertia. So thus rotational kinetic energy is 1 upon 2I omega square. By using the same diagram, we consider the next relation between torque, moment of inertia and angular acceleration. We already discussed this relation in analogy. Now here we consider only simple change. What is that simple change? Consider a rigid body of any shape. It is rotated about an axis with constant angular acceleration alpha. So alpha is constant here, means omega goes on changing. So body made up of large number of particles having masses m1, m2, mn respectively. As the body performs the rotation motion, every particle performs the circular motion. Now here we apply the concept. First one is we apply V is equal to omega r. Then we apply F is equal to ma, and definition of the torque, product of the moment arm and the force. So apply these three formulae for the first particle. We get V1 is equal to omega 1 into r1. V1 is equal to omega 1 into r1. Then we get F is equal to ma. We get F1 is equal to m1 into a1. So instead of that relation, we get A is equal to R alpha we used here. So we get here A1. What is the value of A1? Put the value of A1. A1 is equal to R1 into alpha. So we get F1 is equal to M1 into R1 into alpha. Now Τ1 is equal to R1 into F1. Therefore Τ1 is what? R1 M1 R1 alpha. Hence Τ1 is what? M1 R1 square into alpha. So once again, A1 is equal to R1 alpha, F1 is equal to M1 A1. Hence we get F1 is M1 R1 alpha, Τ1 is equal to R1 F1. Hence Τ1 is M1 R1 square into alpha. Similarly, what is the torque of second particle? It is M2 R2 square alpha. Τn is equal to what? Mn Rn square into alpha. And therefore the total torque is Τ1 plus Τ2 plus dash Τn. Put the values of Τ1, Τ2 and so on. So what is the value of Τ? It is M1 R1 square alpha plus M2 R2 square alpha plus dash plus Mn Rn square into alpha. Which is the common factor here? The alpha is the common factor. So in a bracket we get M1 R1 square plus M2 R2 square plus dash Mn R square. It is the summation over I is equal to 1 to n of Mi Ri square into alpha. What is this? It is I. So thus we get tau is equal to I into alpha. This is the proof of the torque tau is equal to I alpha. By analogy also we get F is equal to ma, hence tau is equal to I alpha. That is from analogy. But here we consider the proof. Similarly, one more relation is that the relation between angular momentum, moment of inertia, relation between angular momentum L, moment of inertia I, and angular velocity omega. Again we consider here body is rotated with constant angular velocity. Same body we consider here. Rigid body of any shape rotated about an axis with constant angular velocity omega. It contains a large number of particles having masses m1, m2, so on. So as the body performs the rotation motion, every particle performs the circular motion. So which formula we apply here? The first formula we used here is V is equal to omega into R. Then P is equal to m into V and L is equal to R into P. So we already discussed all these formulas. So what is the first one? It is V1 is equal to omega R1, P1 is equal to m1 V1. Put the value of V1, we get P1 is what? M1 omega into R1. L1 is equal to R1 P1. Put the value of P1, we get L1 is equal to R1 M1 omega into R1. Therefore L1 is M1 R1 square into omega. So this is the angular momentum of the first particle. Similarly, angular momentum of the remaining particles are L2 is what? M2 R2 square omega dash Ln is Mn Rn square into omega. Use again same concept. The resultant angular momentum L is the addition of the angular momentum of all the particles. Put that values. So we get L is equal to M1 R1 square into omega plus M2 R2 square into omega plus dash Mn Rn square into omega. Take omega as a common factor. What is this bracket? It is I. So finally we get L is equal to I omega. So thus we derive the three formulas by using the same logic. First we discuss the rotational kinetic energy 1 upon 2 I omega square. Then we discuss the torque tau is equal to I alpha. And this is the third relation, L is equal to I omega.